Welcome to the match preview or tactics talk for the Villa game. I'm getting mixed up with how many games we've got, Sam. Go on then, Sam. With the last few games, as you can see the record on the sides for Leicester City and Villa, what is your take going into this game? Because we've heard Ruud's comments pre-match for this. We've got Mads Hermansen still out. We've got FaZe and AU back into the squad for the next game, but he said that the performances have not been deserving of points, but you haven't got them. What's your take on this game?
Yeah, a tough game. Obviously, Villa, not having the best season by their standards compared to last year. Obviously, they've got a lot more games with European football and cup competitions to focus on. But they're going to be a very tough team. We know they've got a very good manager in Unai Emery and a very good team, a lot of good players behind them. And it's going to be tough, really. There's no, we're going to look at every game this season and virtually say it's tough because obviously we've just been promoted and we know that the quality isn't as good as some of these teams that are more established in the league. So it's going to be a tough one, but we are going to have to start picking up points somewhere because obviously losing to Man City and allowing Ipswich to climb out ahead of us is not good enough, really. Not good enough to stay up at least, anyway.
No, we'll get straight into the teams. And Sam, first of all, I'm going to put my man in because now, like I said, Mads Hermansen is out for a couple of weeks now again. Stolicic is my man going in. I don't think he's put really a foot wrong other than that one error against Man City, which obviously did lead to a goal. But I don't know. I think there's a lot better quality in him than there is with Danny Ward, but
I guess I'm going to go straight into my team. I'm going to do the flip on it. I'm going to put Iversen in my team because if you've got three choice keepers, Iversen, obviously I thought he had a good spells with us. The games he has played has been good for us. If you ask me, I think if you got three backup keepers, obviously we know Danny Ward can be. Putting it nicely, not a very fan favourite player. But between Iversen and Stolicic, I think there's a spot there that they could both fight for. And I think Stolicic had his time against Man City. Obviously made a very poor error for their first goal. That is what made us go 1-0 down, was a bad push away to their players to have a shot on target. So for me, I'd put Iversen in the team, and like I said, just see what any of those three can produce for you. We've seen what Ward can produce. We've seen what Stolicic can prove, and I'm just thinking now if we can see what Iversen can prove, because why not?
I would definitely not agree, but fair enough. Again, like you say, Stolicic just had his chance. Now maybe give it Iversen a chance, but there's no doubt about it for me. Stolicic is the number one keeper.
I disagree. I think if you're going to pick someone over who's got experience and knows a little bit more, Iversen played, the back end of those 10 games. And we all said that Iversen should have been in the team from the start. And we all said if you gave him 4 or 5 more games, we could have stayed up in that season. So for me, I think I would prefer. I wouldn't say prefer to see Iversen. I just think he's a good enough goalie that I think I should see him swap around. If Hermansen's out for 3 weeks, I'd give Iversen a chance and see who can fight between him and Stolicic for that spot. Because if you ask me, the mistake Stolicic made against Man City is the kind of errors we can't afford to make, when we need to pick up points. And like I say, it's his first, I think it was his first Premier League debut, wasn't it? First start in the Premier League.
No, it was Liverpool. We played Liverpool.
Second one then.
No, I get your point. Iversen did play that last couple of games when Rodgers got sacked that season, but I don't know. I think since Stolicic has been in with the Enzo kind of system as well. And again, this is not me saying that Ruud's is the same system. I think now I've seen Stolicic is the second man under Hermansen. I don't know. I feel like I've got more trust in someone like Stolicic. Again, he hasn't played in the Premier League. This is his second game. Sorry, now third. But yeah, I get your point. I do see it, but I think most people's fan choice would be Stolicic in my eyes. Terence again does say not a game to try Iversen out.
Maybe, but I wouldn't say it's trying him out necessarily. If you're going to go on experience, he probably does have the next best experience, and obviously we don't trust Ward as fans.
He should be the last on the list.
So I mean, I think Iverson's a decent player that we've not used yet. Obviously, because Hermanson's had a great season, and like I said, nothing wrong with Stolisic going in goal, but it's definitely not trying out Iverson because he's already proven that he can do it at the Premier League level.
Yeah, Mark Harrison says, "Afternoon, how are you, mate?" Right, we'll move into this defence line because there's been a lot of issues the last month or two. We have had injuries. We'll say that. As we know now, FaZe is back in after being injured. I can't see either of us picking FaZe, but we'll get into the back line. We'll start with the fullbacks. Who are you picking for these two fullbacks?
Again, like I said, defensive issues, they're not going to stop until we replace some of these players. And obviously, we're now into January, so
the transfer window is
open. Will we bring in some new defenders? I really hope so, because I think we all hope that we need to bring in some players. I think we need to bring in some players in the defence to sort out what is a mess. And again, it's proven by how many goals we're conceding. I think we are now, or at least joint worst defence in the league. Conceded the most goals, joint with Wolves, I think. So, who do I put in the team? Again, I think it really, at this point in time, I think we're what? This is the 19th game? 20th game. So, we're getting to that halfway point now. I think we're over the halfway point.
Yeah, we are. This is the first to start again.
The back four, we've mixed it around enough this season where I actually don't think any of them deserve a place in the team. And how do you really go from there? Because do you put the youth academy in? No, because if we get slaughtered with it, that people are going to say it was a bad decision from Ruud to do it. I think obviously it's one of those things where whoever we put in, someone's gonna do something wrong in the defence because there's just the confidence and the quality at the moment. So I'm probably going to stick with the back four that we've been playing with. Because is there any way to improve it? I don't really think so at the moment. So Christensen left back, Justin right back, Vestgod and Cody centre backs, and like I said, I think you'll probably agree to the extent of who you're going to pick is really just swapping someone out for someone else, and it's not really replacing them with a better quality person.
See, this is one where I will agree with you majority of the time that majority of the defenders that we have been switching around and playing with hasn't had the best of games. I think the one consistent player that I think has been the most consistent out of the lot has been Christensen. I think for me, I don't think I've seen much of a bad game from him.
No,
maybe the odd time, but I think out of the back four, he is the one that would be in that team out of the four.
I think he's consistently average. I'll tell you that much. I'd say he puts in a 5 or 6 out of 10 most weeks. He doesn't really do anything bad compared to the other three. So it's one of those things, isn't it? Christensen, and again, like I say, with Pereira out, and I'm trying to think if we've got any other defenders out. Not them. I think it's just Pereira, isn't it? I think that shows you that even with just Pereira out, stuff needs changing. Yeah, like Jamie Preston says, same as Man City game, or maybe put Hands in right back. You could see it happening. Wouldn't be opposed to it. Putting Chowdhury in there again, I could see it happening. I guess that's who you're putting in.
Yeah, I'm putting Hamza at right back. I think when he came on against when he came up against Man City and he came on, he looked like he was a way better defending player-wise, in my eyes. Jamie does say, why no Jacob?
I just pick it, like I said at the start, I'd give the keepers a chance to switch it around. I think we've seen what Stolisic can do in his 2 games. I think maybe give Iverson now a couple of games, and we can, because obviously now we know Hermanson's going to be out for 3 weeks. We can see what they can produce. I'd obviously be saying something different if I thought Stolisic was, outperforming himself and doing justice to be the first team goalie. But for me, I'd like to see Iverson in that team. And just see what the other keepers can offer, because I think we can all agree those 2 seasons ago when we got relegated, when Iverson came in for those last 10 games, we all thought, why is this keeper not been playing over Danny Ward? So I think if you've got the option there, I'd give him a shout. And if it's just for the one game, it's just for the one game. But that's just me personally, anyway.
Do you think maybe Stolisic? I don't know how old Stolisic is, but he obviously came through he actually obviously came through the ranks, and Enzo wanted him in that team because he probably plays better with his feet and whatnot, and plays better passing wise. But I get your point of both of them probably have this equal opportunity to play, because we saw how good Iverson was in that Premier League season when we got relegated when he came in, but obviously it wasn't enough.
Between good and better than Danny Ward.
Oh yes, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying, that. And Stolicic has, don't get me wrong, he's not really had the opportunity. He's not really proven that he is good enough in the Premier League. Yes, he has had an okay 2 games, and yes, he made a big error. But does that give the right for him to start over Iverson?
I think it's all food for thought, isn't it? You know, it's one of those things where I don't really think that keeper position is. Obviously, if Hermanson's fit, we would all pick him. But between Stolicic and Iverson, that's for me the only reason I'm switching it around is, you know, see what else they can offer you, really. Like I said, I don't think Stolicic's done too bad, considering we did play Liverpool and Man City. But you know, I come back to as a manager, I guess I'd be looking at Stolicic's error against Man City and think, well, I've got Iverson on the bench. Is it maybe time to give him a little game time? Because now we know that Hermanson's going to be out for probably the next 3 or 4 weeks. Iverson.
See, I don't think Craig would have said that 2 seasons ago when we got relegated.
I don't think
he's not. I won't say he's crap, but
we haven't really seen him play in the past 2 years, to be honest with you. Obviously, since Enzo's system, like you would say, doesn't really suit Iverson's style of football. Maybe a little bit more.
Why don't we try Alex Smithies? I know he's gone now, but he's coming to the club for no reason. They're just to leave again. I have chosen a Coley instead of Cody. I honestly don't think Cody's up to the standard in my eyes. But I thought if I had to pick between FaZe and Coley, I think Coley's the easiest choice.
Again, like I said, I can see it in your eyes that you're trying to pick between 2 that you know.
I don't want to play, but
yeah. I get what you're saying about Cody. Obviously, I think it was Haaland's goal, wasn't it? The second one, Cody was playing them a lot on side.
That is an idea.
So you could do Iverson for the QPR game. Again, like I say, it's just swapping it around. I don't think it really is that big of a deal, because it's not like we're saying Manuel Neuer or Danny Ward, is it? We're picking between 2 players that don't really play because our main goalie's out. So I think, you know, that's just my opinion.
Right, we'll move into midfield then, Sam. What we say in midfield wise, are we picking?
Is Didi back still? Or is he still out injured?
And Didi is out.
I think it's fairly. I don't think too much is going to change from the Man City game. So
yeah,
I think you're going to put Winks back in that. They're going to put Winks back into that team, and both Samari. So both played, I think, fairly well against Man City. Samari has a fairly good game again against Man City. I'm not sure if I'm right in saying that. If he gets another yellow card, though, it's a 2-game.
Who's this? Samari?
Yeah, because again, he's come back and he's got 2 yellow.
I think you've got to get a certain amount of numbers, don't you?
I thought it was 8. Yeah, but if you get
I think it's 5 and then 10.
I thought it was 5 then 8. I don't know. Either way, yellow card, isn't it? Go down to the bookies on that one. Might put a few quid on them getting a booking.
He always seems to get booking when he don't deserve it either.
He plays for the booking. I think he does deserve it. He knows what he's doing. It's a tactical booking, I guess, if you want to call it that. You know, he'll foul a player in the, you know, when they're trying to counter attack. So, like I say, he's probably been one of the better players in the past 5-6 games. Just a shame the performances and obviously the defense at an issue is not holding up to that standard. So yeah, for me, Winks and Samari go into the defensive mid spots.
So this is a debate. If I was to give you the choice of Ndidi in there as well, who would you take out of that middle 2?
Probably Winks, because when we saw Samari and Ndidi in there, you know, 2 more defensive mids, both good at tracking. Again, they won the ball back, those 2. I don't know. Like I said, we're 20 games in, and it's hard to pick some of these players because where do they slot in? From what I could see, Samari and Ndidi somewhat consistently decent together in the, I guess, cameo roles they played together, because we did not see loads from them. Yeah. So, again, like I said, it's tough to pick at the moment.
Going into my team then, I think the first man on the team sheet for me at the moment is Samari, because he's absolutely world class. I thought I had to put that out just to get a bit of a laugh. No, I think he's quality, mate. I think he's absolutely quality. And then the other player, see, this is where this is where it's hard to pick because I think Winks is the man in there. I don't think Skips deserves to play. I don't think obviously Charge is in my team anyway, so there's no point in putting there. So yeah, Winks is tomorrow again for me. I don't know why someone's chucking me paper. But yeah, Ivan Gibbs says right back or Hamza right back. Hey, beforehand he has played his role.
We're all going to disagree. Obviously, there's some comments that disagree. Obviously, could be put nicer, but you know, it's how keyboard warriors are these days. But you know, we are all going to disagree with players in positions. We're not all going to agree on who we think should or shouldn't start, and that's not a good thing. That shows you that we don't know how consistent
the thing is as well.
This team is.
Thing as well, if you don't agree with our back four, put in the comments now who will be in that. Who do you put in that back four? Because at the moment, our only choices is really Christensen, JJ. If you want to take JJ out, your only other choice is either under 21s or Chowdhury as a cover. And then defense wise, you've either got to pick a 4 players, so you're picking 2 out of the 4. So realistically, you've got not much choice.
It's all well and good saying not this player, not that player, but like Reed says, put your comments in and say who you'd start because I don't think yours is going to be any better than ours, guys. So
Grade says same team as Man City. Again, I think as we're building,
virtually what we're
as we're building, I've made a few changes, and obviously you changed the goalkeeper, but other than that, it is basically the same team because I think we're starting to see a consistency in what Rude wants to have on his team, but there is odd changes that he might need to do. But we'll go into that attacking minded spots, Sam. Yeah. This is where I think you're going to be very different to me because I think it's. Do you know what? I might as well say it because that's what I'm going to do. I'm putting the same 4 as what it was against Man City because I think with the 4 up top, if the creativity is flowing, like I feel like the likes of El Khanous was, and I feel like Winati can do. For me, it's there's no other changes in that team for me. I know you'll probably disagree. I know I can name one player already that I think you'll put in, but for me, it's El Khanous in the middle. I think he was absolutely brilliant against Man City. I think he was world class again. I'm going to see if that sparks any more people laughing. Buonanotte on the other side. And as much as I will agree, Mavididi has not been great recently. He goes back in because I think there's no other choice realistically on that side that I can put in.
There's always a thing called changing formations, though.
Maybe so.
Which is what I would do personally. I'm thinking, hence why a little bit quiet. I'm trying to think of the best way to play it. I agree with El Khanous and Buonanotte in the team, but again, I think for both of them, they look so much better when they're both attacking midfielders. And I think when do you
think that's maybe why El Khanous is playing better than Buonanotte at the moment because he's more central?
Well, I think so because I think when we saw it with Buonanotte on the wing and he's okay, but he's better in the midfield. And the same with El Khanous. We've seen El Khanous on the wing, and he's not that good as a winger. But when you see him in the middle of the park, he's running around the players. So,
we have spoke about this one as well. We were thinking, why the hell would we go back for someone who didn't want to be with us all? Chelsea took back. For me, that's a no-go. I don't think he's great at all.
He wasn't doing it in the Championship, so I don't think he's going to be doing it in the Premier League anytime soon.
Simon here says we have absolutely no one to replace these scrubs. So
prior to our comment of, well, who else would you guys put to the team? And obviously, no one's commented because they couldn't. If you're going to play someone, it's not really it's not our place to be like where we pick these players. Because it's not really our choice at the end of the day, is it? We just go along with it as fans.
I'll let you keep thinking about your attacking force.
Yeah, we'll get some comments here.
Scott here says if we picked Iverson, I'm not against it. He was a great shot stopper, but we couldn't play out from the back with him. Yeah, which I think that's what Rude wants to do.
It is. I would say in our position, we shouldn't be playing that style of football anyway. Because I think when we've seen us try to do it against some of these teams, even like Man City and that, we play decent, but we don't really have the strength to do that. I don't think we're a good enough quality side team to be trying to outpass and outplay these.
I will say this, and you might disagree. But and when we first said about playing in the Enzo system at the start of the season, if we kept him, we'd make too many mistakes. I don't think from playing around the back this season we have been costed by that many mistakes from the back line, as in like passing it out from the keeper and getting absolutely pressured on. I don't think we have seen that.
I've seen it a few times this season. I don't
think we've been caught out.
No, do you know what the reason is? That it's because we ain't got the ball. Because when we do try and pass it against these teams, if you look at the possession, and this is what a lot of fans thought would happen going into the season, is if we do try and outperform and outpossess and outpass these teams, we weren't going to have the ball. We weren't going to have the possession. We weren't going to outpass these teams because the quality-wise, we're trying to retain more with a team that's not good as your Brentfords or your Fulhams or your Villas. It doesn't work as well. It's a struggling format, I guess. And would it be nice? Yeah, in a lot of people's eyes, it's a decent, style of football to play. And last season in the Championship, it worked. It got us promoted, and it looked nice and clean. But that's a £250 million team against a barely £10 million team, Rotherham, plus another 15 teams that are the same in that league. So it's a different, kettle of fish when it's the Premier League, and I think that's showing really this season a little bit. Personally, I think some tactics do need to change, which is why I'm not going to play with wingers, because I think if you're going to play something different, it's going to have to start somewhere soon. And I think if you're going to play best positions possible and the best players possible in those players, it's Buonanotte in Cam and El Khanouchi in Cam for me, and I'll start with those two both as attacking midfielders rather than one on the wing.
I did see a comment just now. I will put it in a minute. Let me just put these two players in. I'm guessing you're going to be more like that, and then
two attacking mids.
Buonanotte as well. Yeah, we'll have that there in a minute. Terence here said performance of the season coming back from 2-0 down versus Brighton. I don't agree. I know we lost to Man City.
What about the Southampton one where he came back and won 3-2? Yeah.
I would probably agree with that in the sense of it was a great win of the season, but I don't think it was the performance of the season.
I don't think Man City was performance of the season either for losing 2-0.
I think performance-wise it was, but we didn't win.
I get it. Man City was struggling though. Let's not overrate what they were. The last 8 games they lost 7, drawn 1. We gave them the first win in 10 games.
Yeah.
So I'm not overly. We played pretty well against a very poor form of Man City. We should have got a draw out of that game at the least, but we didn't. We didn't take chances, and I think that does show you that if we can't put our chances away against a very good, Man City team, but obviously struggling Man City team, where everyone else is doing it. Right now, yeah, they are a better team than Southampton. I didn't watch the Brighton game. Obviously, I was busy at the day, didn't go to that one. But I think a lot of fans probably had or were ready to leave by that point. But
I don't know how you're setting this team up, mate. But let's get into it.
Yeah, they still were just waiting on me. Well, I'll put Vardy up front. I think if he's fit, he plays like we said.
Not Daka.
Well,
not Edouard, who apparently wants to stay or we want to keep.
There's a way around it. Yeah, I'll put Daka in my team as well. I'll have 2 strikers. Again, I think he needs a chance to start. I know he's starting against Liverpool, but if not, again, I'm struggling really because I don't think we should play with wingers because I don't think we suit wingers. And when we do, obviously, if you're going to play for left winger, it's traditional to play for right winger too, which does mean that El Khanouchi or Buonanotte goes into it. But I'm thinking of it as the best place possible.
You're playing like a 4-2-2-2.
4-2-2-2 in some way, 4-4-2 almost. Depends on how you want to read it. But for me, I just think if El Khanouchi and Buonanotte are the 2 better performing attacking players, which we know they are.
I think it's because you didn't want to play Mavididi.
No, I'm trying to put my 2 best players in position. Mavididi's poor, really. He's had a rubbish season and he's not done good enough. El Khanouchi and Buonanotte have been 2 of the better players in our team, and I'm trying to fit them into the system where they can both be firing in the best way possible. Hence why, as attacking mids, I put them in attacking mid. And if that means Mavididi, who's massively underperforming and not doing anything, has to come out, and so be it. I don't care about that. I'd rather just play the best players and go out there and try and do something.
See, this is where why am I debating the striker? Why do I feel like I want to try Daka against Villa? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm putting Daka in. Keep Daka for whenever. the Palace game. There you go. Sort it. And no, it probably will be Vardy, but I wanted to switch it up and sort it. Apparently Edouard not leaving. No, I don't think so. Playing versus a high line, you need width and get on the counter, not a narrow 4-2-2-2. I don't know. We haven't got much option. I think Sam wants to play a bit more direct, maybe in a way, instead of playing passing around the back.
I wouldn't say. Listen, I don't care about the tactics as such. I'm not a manager, and I'm just a fan. So I can have my opinions on what I like to see, but obviously it's all about what works well for the club and what gets you results at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a believer that you play your best players in their positions, and you can get something out of the game. I always feel like square pegs in round holes a little bit when we play some of the players out of position and play plays like Mavididi who's not performing, and it's like, well, I want to play with wingers, but I don't have anyone else, so it has to be Mavididi. And if that's Reedy's already changing his mind whilst I'm talking.
Only because someone said it back in Daka's time, we're not scoring. So there you go. Sorted.
If you ask me, Mavididi, I don't think he's done enough to earn his place. And if we're playing with a left winger and a right winger, because that's how we want to do it, then I get it. But I don't get the fact of it's football. You don't have to play the same system. A bit like Enzo did, and it's like you say, you're trying to put players into positions where when injuries or players are underperforming, a bit like when we got relegated. Really, we said there's a lot of players who just walk into that team week in, week out, like Tielemans, who was massively underperforming, but no one could replace him because the manager was too stubborn to change it around.
Yeah.
What do we do then? And I think a little bit's happening this year. Obviously, not the stubbornness from Ruud, but I think if you're trying to play with wingers every week, but it's not working, I think you reap the rewards of that system and that style of football when it's not working.
Don't banter with me. We're at brand to answer it, really, mate. I'm not even going to question that. I'm sorry. I'm not even going to question it. Are you up top? Sam, last comments of the day then. First of all, here's the teams that we're both picking for Villa away. Last comment will be Edouard, get rid. Why are we keeping him? Sam, what's your thoughts on this? Because we've heard that
multiple reasons. It could not. It might not be us wanting to keep him. You got to think he's probably on 60, 70, 80 grand a week at Palace, and they've given us a loan, and it's a season-long loan. And we've probably said, "Oh, can you guys have him back?" And they're like, "No, you can keep paying half his wages for the season because he's rubbish, and we don't want him." And it's a mutual thing. Say if Palace don't want to take him back, they don't have to take him back. We're the club that decided to take him on, so it's our responsibility to get him firing or not. We wanted to use our second loan spot on Edouard. If he's not worked out, that's on the club. It's not on the fans. It's not on Palace. It's on Leicester for taking him on.
Yeah, I will bring a comment just to have the last one. But you also have to take into account the opposition's team to play to their weaknesses, to steal it, plus their quality at home. Again, it's never going to be an easy game against Villa.
I don't know what their weaknesses are. It's one of those things. If
everyone knows our weaknesses are.
I don't know if you're a Villa fan or if
no, he's a Forest fan. I know him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know Villa. Like I say, I only really watch Leicester. I don't watch football in my spare time, not other clubs anyway. So I don't know how Villa will set up. I don't know how they'll play. I just know that it's never an easy game going to Villa Park. It's always a tough one there, especially with their team and how well they play and how well they have been playing the past 2 seasons.
Yeah. Score prediction before we finish.
We're getting to the point really where we need to get a win. I think we need to start getting some 3 points.
Points over where we drop points.
Yeah. I think we need to start getting some solid points on the board. Otherwise,
they're not playing in that good of a form either over there in the top corner. They're not. Yes, they've got
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Yeah.
No, in the top corner.
What?
In this top corner here.
Oh, I thought you're literally trying to point to Birmingham or something.
No,
they're over that way.
Yeah, in that top corner of the screen. They're not in the best of form. Obviously, yes, it's better than ours.
When you look at ours, 2 wins, 1 draw, or 4 losses and 1 draw.
I don't know who them draws and wins are against, by the way. I'm saying that they're not unbeaten in so many games. They actually have lost.
Like any team's there for the take. It depends if we want to turn up, really.
2-1 to us. I'll take that.
I think I'll take a draw. I think we'll be lucky to walk away with a draw. We really do need to start getting some 3 points. So
Stephen, that's probably not this season.
Not this year, Stephen.
I think he might be back later this season, but there's no point even having him in the squad at this point.
I'm not so sure. It's an ACL, isn't it? That's usually a season-long.
Gray says 2-2. Duran and Rogers both suspended. Well, that's great because I put him on the screen here, so that's great. Thank God for that. Terence says 2-0 to Mike Foxes. Go on, Sam. Give us a score prediction. You saying a draw, yeah?
No, I think we'd be lucky to come away with a draw. My head, if I'm doing a realistic answer, maybe a 2 or 3-1 to Villa. But my heart, I'd love a 1-1 or a 2-2. Well, that's my head. A bit realistically against Villa in the way we're playing. But we do need to start picking up some points somewhere. So I'll take a 2-2 draw away to Villa and then go on to Palace and Fulham at home. And that's really where, especially Palace, we need to start to get 3 points from them and a draw to Fulham. And we need to start getting those points flowing. Otherwise, Wolves, they beat us, they beat Man United, and Ipswich beat Spurs, was it? Or Chelsea, they beat Chelsea.
Wolves drew to Spurs.
Yeah, they're both going to start to slip away a little bit from us if we can't pick up points now. And we need that now. So it's going to.
Just remember the last time we went to Villa away. It's the first game without Rodgers, I think. Oh no, it was with Rodgers. Sorry, we beat them 4-1. First game with Tete and first game with Suter in, and we absolutely smashed them. Okay. You never know, mate. You never know. Last comment for me. What are you talking about? Well, we're brilliant still. Don't worry. We've got
those blue tinted glasses still, Phil.
We've got El Canus, we've got Sumare, we've basically got a winning Champions League team here.
Champions League. You mean championship?
Champions League team, mate. Right, my score prediction is going to be. Do you know what? I'm going to come back and say 4-1 to Leicester. I think we're going to beat them 4-1 again.
That would be lovely.
That would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Is that your end or your heart?
That's both. I think we're going to beat them. I think we're going to smash them 4-1. Victor, our last one says 3-1 Leicester. And then when Ipswich beat Chelsea, it made us look terrible.
The thing is with Ipswich beating Chelsea, they probably, if you look at the stats, it was probably all Chelsea, but that doesn't matter.
And they dived.
Okay, well, that doesn't matter. Ipswich ended up winning that game, and that's the thing that we've not done this year. Even against Man City, when Man City looked poor, we couldn't turn up enough. We couldn't turn up enough to get a point. We couldn't turn up to get a goal even. And did we deserve at least a goal or at least a point? Yeah, I think we did against Man City, but we have to put the chances away. Really, they're all if, buts, and maybes, and it doesn't matter about we deserve this, we should have done this. It's all about what's the fact, and the fact is we're second bottom because we ain't scoring and we're conceding too many.
Yeah,
that's just a solid fact this year. Everything else is just opinions. This team is just opinions. It's just what we think's best. You might disagree or agree.
I think a lot of people want Dak to score.
Hey,
I think that's like 5,000 to 1, 3-1 Leicester, but Dak to score a hat trick.
5,000 to 1 won't be that high, but.
I'm taking the piss. Right, there you go, guys. There's our two teams. I'll show you one more time. There's mine and there's Sam's. Appreciate you coming on. Make sure to check out tonight's show at 7:30 with, I think, Jono and Simon previewing the game for Saturday. And then check out the Sunday show with Jamie for the Aftermath show to review that show as well. And also Phil's on the Monday night. So appreciate you coming on, and we'll catch you all on next show. See you, guys.